Hi, this is Ro. Welcome to Cloudberry Hollow and Bookbinding Mondays. Today we're going to learn the simple anatomy of books. Let's get going. Hi everyone. I'm going to start out today with a folio. And I have these cute little flashcards that you can download on my website at cloudberryhollow.com if you like a copy of them. It's their names and what they are and the meaning on the back side. So this is called a folio. And what the folio is the beginning of a signature. So what I have here is an 8.5 and 11 piece of paper, and it's basically folded in half. And this is called a folio. If you took this piece of paper and you cut it in half right here and you fold it again, you would get a quattro. And it goes on and so forth and so on. So this is your folio. If you gather 4 pieces of paper, you would get a signature. So a signature is a group of folios put together and you'll get a signature. And it can vary by artist or bookbinder on how many pieces of paper you put together. And if you get a group of signatures together and you sew them and you start sewing them together, this would be considered a text block, but they'd have to be sewn together. So here I have a smaller text block that I've created from a long time ago. So it's my example. So a text block is a group of signatures pulled together. And as you can see, it's been sewn and glued together. And it has a lot of little doodads on it. So the first thing that you would see is this right here and this piece of cloth. And this piece of cloth is called mull. And or super cloth, I think that's what it's also called. I can't remember right now, but mull is what helps the signature bind together with the spine of a book. It also holds the signature and give the spine of the book strength. It also holds it together. And so you can see I have bands right here on this particular little guy. And so I would go ahead and also put bands on this little book here. But right now, this is bookbinder's tape, but right now this is mull paper. And that's what I have here is the mull paper. Not mull paper, mull. So also what you could put over here is rice paper. I don't have any samples of rice paper right now. I'm out. And what some bookbinders do on top of the mull, they will put rice paper on top of the mull to give it extra strength. Not a lot of people do that, but there are a few bookbinders that do that. What you'll see in this text block on the inside of the page is a decorative page right here. And this right here is called an end paper or end sheet. And the end paper is what you would put in here to glue the text block to the front or back cover. And so we'll get to that here shortly. So I'm going to keep this little guy out. And these are examples of end papers. So here's an end paper by itself. As you see, this right here is cardstock. And what this does is I use this type of paper on some of my Coptic stitch books. And I will put these on the inside here and when I sell them. So this is an example of end paper. Here is some Japanese paper that I also use, and another type of end paper. There's all sorts of end papers that you can use. Okay. Another thing that you'll see are these little guys here, and these are called the headbands and the tail. So this is the head and the tail of your book. And these are optionals. They're not mandatory for your books. These are optionals on your books if you're making a case-bound book. So these are right here. Your headband and your tail bands. You can get headbands and tail bands pre-made As you can see right here, I have these glued on, and they come in a variety of different colors, like this one. And a lot of the time, you will see professional bookbinders. They will have different threads and their needles, and they will sew their headbands and their tailbands into their books. So they will take different colors, and they will actually sew it into their heads and their tails of their books. So it's beautiful. It's an art, and there are a lot of videos that can teach you how to do that. So that's this. Here we have examples of front and back covers. So this would be the front and the back covers of your books. There are a lot of different grades of book board. There are chip boards, there are gray boards, and depending on your skill level would be what you would buy. So you can go to Dick Blick's, you can go to Hollander's or to Talus or your local bookstore, not bookstore, but your local craft store, and see what they have. If you don't have access to that, you can also use the back of a notebook. You can use cereal boxes and glue those together. There's a variety of things you're going to do depending on what your project is. So here we have a book board, and they come in different widths, and so you want to also be cognizant of what width that you're getting, and it also depends on what project that you're going to do. And so these are the different sizes of books that I make. So you can see that here I have this, and here I do have some regular wood that I use for my larger books. I do make larger books, and usually when I use wood, I'm either doing wood burning or I'm covering it with leather, or I use some other materials. Okay. From here, we're going to look at cases. So cases are for hardbound books, and this is where you're going to look at our traditional books for either home craft books, or if you're going to look at our traditional books that we see in our libraries. And this will have our hard spines, and this is our front and our backs, and then you'll see also are beautiful in papers as well. This happens to be a craft book, so you can put anything that you want in here. And it also has just a variety of different color papers. These are heavyweight papers in this particular book. So that is an example of a case. And the case, you can decorate case books or any type of book, even if it's an open spine book like this Coptic stitch book. There's a variety of book cloths that you can use. And what you see here is just some samples that I got from Hollander's. And you can order these sample booklets from them. And also you can order samples from Talus or some other book places that are out there. And you can see the beautiful different types of book cloths that you can order to put on the books. And this is another example of book cloths. You can see that I use some here. I also use book paper. This is Japanese paper that I use. I use this also on my books. This is actual Japanese book cloth that you can use. This is called Chiyogami Paper, and this is readily available at Dick Blick's. You can get them at the Japanese paper place. I believe there's a minimum order, but there are a lot of different places that you can get these papers from. There are different variety of fabrics that you can use. You can make your own book cloths as well. So I hope that all of this has helped you out for a little bit more of an understanding of what goes into a book, what's needed to make your own books. If you have any questions, please post your comments below. I'll be happy to answer them, or visit me at my website again at cloudberryhollow.com. You can download these little flashcards if you like, to help you out, or just for fun, to test your knowledge. I hope this helped you. We'll talk to you later. Ciao.